Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for being here. It's me, Audrey Dawson, Colin Rashid. I'm your anthropologist and your sociologist. Again, hit the like button, share this live stream, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the channel. Don't forget, you can donate in the links below. Thank you very much. And please check my novels on Amazon. Okay, this live stream is going to be that long. It's the 17th of December, 2024 now. In this live stream, I'm addressing something that happened 10 days ago on the 7th of December. And it is the following. Hold on. Let me see. Let me check first if the audio is correct. One moment, please. Let me check it on my phone. Always do this check. Make sure that everything is working well. Hold on. So this check. Make sure that. Yes. You should be able to hear me clearly. Now, okay. Let me share the screen with you. This is an article from the BBC. It was posted on the 7th December, the same day. So the article may be a bit outdated. Well, but anyway, you can see. Let me try to play it. That's the explosion right over there in the background. Okay. Here was confirmed 5 people were dead, and this is a aerial photo of the situation, as you can see over here. Here's the location where it is. This is an article from the New York Times. This is a bit more updated because here it mentions that 3 suspects were arrested after the deadly explosion. 6 people were killed. By the way, the explosion is still on investigation, so they don't rule out foul play. And it happened at 6:15 a.m. in the morning. They saw a car racing away from it, and there's one little boy who's now without a family because they died in it. And this one will show you guys. Since 2021, the number of explosions in the Netherlands has increased significantly. There were 1,007 explosions last year, compared to a total of just 212 in 2021, according to our police data. A vast majority happen in major cities. So it happens a lot in the Netherlands that people, instead of working things out or solving conflict peacefully, they resort to violence. And one type of violence they resort in the Netherlands is explosions, committing terror. I won't say it's a terrorist attack because there's no political. It's only terrorist attack with a political motive. But hey, if it's racial, it's also political. But I don't say this is racial, but you get what I mean. So what I'm saying is, people resort to attacks like this, explosions, a lot in this country. So, and the mayor of The Hague also visited the place. Also, the king of the Netherlands and his wife, Queen Maxima, visited the place too. And yeah, so the country has been shocked by what happened here. Let me show you this, the location. And there's one thing about this case that came out is that the police suspected that some bridal shop was the actual target. Because with these attacks, there's one target, and the rest that is damage is collateral damage. That's how it often goes. So, okay, I'm going to read a little bit of this over here. Oh, by the way, this is translated. This article, the official one's in Dutch, so you won't find this English article anywhere. I just translated it so you guys can follow me. AliExpress dresses and angry customers. Shady story of destroyed bridal shop Tarwekamp. Tarwekamp is in English you would translate it as camp of wheat. That's the name of the neighborhood. The Hague. They opened whenever they felt like it. It was a separate company before it settled on the Tarwekamp in The Hague. Bridal shop Aliyah Styling had various locations in the region with the same name but different owners. I could say a lot about it, but I won't. From The Hague to Leidschendam, Zoetermeer, and back to The Hague, Aliyah Styling has moved several times since its foundation in 2018. In Between these moves, the company was deregistered from the Chamber of Commerce to later continue with a different owner under the same name. On social media, there's not much to notice of the changes, although the address is changed with the post on Instagram. It never becomes clear that the company no longer exists or has a different owner. Okay, no one is called Aliyah. However, the data from the Chamber of Commerce shows that the three owners of Aliyah Styling, none of whom are called Aliyah, are in a relationship with each other. The owner of the bridal shop in Leidschendam appeared to be the 2-year older sister of the 27-year-old owner of the shop in The Hague at the time of the explosion in Mariahoeve. Aliyah Styling was founded by a now 38-year-old woman from The Hague. She does not seem to have any family ties with the sisters who later continued the bridal shop, but they were all part of the board of the association. This was founded in 2018 with the aim of jointly buying a piece of land and building houses. Now a dental practice. Actually, I'm going to read all of it. Now, women sit on this board together with the brother of the founder. He is the director of a dental practice in Zoetermeer and Rijswijk. According to the site, the eldest of the two sisters works at this dentist as a preventive assistant. Until November last year, the bridal fashion store advertised on its social media with the address in Zoetermeer. In the meantime, the clothing store has left there and the space is used by the aforementioned dental practice. Residents of the apartment building where the dental practice is located confirmed that there used to be a clothing store. That someone said, I don't really know much about the store, only that there were beautiful dresses. From one day to the next, the store was gone. At the dentist, the receptionist doesn't want to say anything about the former neighbors. The receptionist says, if you want to register as a patient, you can, but I won't say anything else. It's only response the employee wants to give. List the building where the bar shop used to be in Zoetermeer. Right, Zoetermeer is a city close to The Hague. This is Zoetermeer. Zoetermeer in English translated as Sweeter Lake. This is The Hague. This is Leiden. This is Rotterdam over here. I live at the opposite side of The Hague. So this happened at the other side of The Hague. I live more into the south of The Hague. This have more into the northeast. Um, okay, let me go back to the article. Okay, let's read further over here. In Leidschendam too, few people want to talk about their former neighbors. One individual said, I could say a lot about it, but I won't. This is one of the saleswomen in the street. Luckily, they're gone, so I see no reason to talk about it. In Leidschendam, Aliyah Styling is registered twice in the Chamber of Commerce. Both times, 29-year-old woman is the owner at the time. On the other side of the street, there are doubts about this. They were only here once. I went for 100%. The bridal shop in the Damlaan in Leidschendam did make an impression, even though the entrepreneurs had hardly any contact with the owner. It was also because she was there very little, just one of them. The owner never they wanted, several of them say. It was a bit vague because the doors were always closed. The store also rented out bridal and evening wear. We regularly had customers come in who had to wait until the owner came to open the store. Or you said, one entrepreneur said customers came to our toilet because they had to wait for the bridal shop to open. One of the entrepreneurs has been inside a few times because she was interested in renting the shop when it became clear that the bridal shop would be leaving. It was completely full of dresses. They were beautiful and not those dresses for parties, but the real creation for special occasions. Alia's styling also shows off the dress on social media. Several models tag the company after wearing a dress, and the cast of the Real Housewives of Amsterdam has been dressed by the designer. Despite its attention, the company has little interaction on social media. The Instagram page has almost 55,000 followers, but these seem to be mostly purchased fake profiles. An average Insta post is only liked by dozens of people, an unbelievable number with amount of followers. Dress from AliExpress. And there's also a lot of criticism about the dresses in the bridal shop. These are said to come part from AliExpress, as can be seen from various photos of models that she tagged. Why this bridal shop may have been the target of the explosion remains unclear. The police do not want to say anything about this during the investigation. The explosions were probably aimed at the bridal shop, a spokesperson says in Opsporing Verzocht. Opsporing Verzocht means how to translate this in English, right? Anyway, not necessarily. It's a show on Dutch TV in which he requests the public in help them catching the bad guys to arrest them. Okay. Further explanation is not given in the interest of investigation. The police do say they are in contact with those responsible for the shop. As you can see, it's AliExpress. Just one thing from, um, well, that bridal shop. The photo that the store used in advertisements left and advertisements for the same person on AliExpress right. It's quite similar. That there is a link is also evident from the fact that a white Range Rover burns out at the Tarwekamp just before the explosions. A car that the owner of the bike shop drives according to the local residents, and that she tries to sell via Marktplaats. Marktplaats, English translation Marketplace, is an online website in the Netherlands where you can sell things as an individual, just before the fatal explosion. Also, the car exploded before. The car burned out before the explosion. Okay, interesting. And the locals are aware that she, the owner, was one driving the car. So that means they are aware of the shop. Okay. Elijah Dawn too, the employees recognized the car. She would sometimes wait in here for hours, and she would constantly double park as if nothing was wrong. The Washington Rovers company burned out, you can see over here. On the 1st of January, the company moves to Mariahoeve. Then the company is registered again, this time with the younger sister as owner. Local residents say they have a strange feeling about the store. More men than women came in. Well, this doesn't have to be a problem. I mean, a bridal shop. What if it's the family members of the bride that come to shop for her? That can happen, but it's more logical for the bride to be to come because she has to fit into the dress. But that men come to check whether they want to buy a dress over there for maybe the sister or mother, whoever wants to get married. This doesn't have to be a problem. That more men came in. Okay, but anyway, the people are suspicious. The building also seems to be much too big for the bridal shop because the shop consists of multiple units with different entrances. A partition was placed to separate the shop from the rest, says on the resident. The part that was separated was completely taped off. No one could look inside there. Never any complaints about the owner. Okay. Part of the shop was also rented out to 27-year-old Saudi from India. And Saudi says, I moved in with her 11 months ago. I feel very bad and I'm very sad. According to the furniture maker, this also applies to the owner of the bridal shop. I spoke to her briefly on Saturday, but she's not doing well. The building on the Tarwekamp is owned by Du Chatinier. And Du Chatinier said, I think it's terrible, she says. The woman has been renting the bridal shop since the beginning of the year. I've never had any complaints about her. We're hearing all sorts of strange stories now, but I don't know anything else. It really is as hard. I called her after the explosion, and my husband saw her. The woman continues. She was really in shock. I can't imagine it. Omroep West, that's the broadcast West. You can turn it in English, kind of. It's a media platform. Has tried several times to contact the owner of the bridal shop, Aliyah Styling, but without success. The other people involved in this article were also unavailable for comment on Wednesday. By the way, the investigation is still ongoing. Okay, so there's suspicion on the bridal shop being the target. So that's under investigation. Already arrested some potential suspects. But the thing is, we don't know for sure yet. It could be that the bridal shop had nothing to do with the explosion. That could be a possibility. Though it's unlikely, it's still a possibility. And look, if the business was not doing that well and they had to relocate, well, sometimes business doesn't go well. I mean, that's the risk of entrepreneurship. Sometimes you don't have the same amount of customers. So if this happened to that shop over there, so be it. So that doesn't have to mean that the shop was an undercover operation for criminals, whatever. Okay, because there are a lot of conspiracy theories going online already on social media in the Netherlands about this whole situation, and people already condemning the what they say called Moroccan Dutch owner of this shop, even without any conclusive proof. We're not doing that over here. Okay, less than 6 people died. There's a little boy that has to grow up without close family right now. So this is a bad situation. So why am I talking about this? First of all, it happened in the state where I live. So it would be weird if something like this happens and I don't even mention it. I did mention before in another live stream. Let me make another live stream when I address this directly. We're not going to. Okay, what should I do? Okay, you know what? Let me show this. This was the location of the bridal shop. Okay, as you can see over here, part of the building was blown away. As you can see over here too. And that part is this part over here. As you can see here, here you have the tram over here. There's a roundabout over here too. And to go to the shop, you have to pass through the Tarwekamp road over here. And you have to pass by these residential blocks over here. And from the residential blocks over here, these ones had a clear view of the street. Okay? It wasn't fully secluded, but it was kind of hidden. It was like it was on the open high road or whatever, open highway or on the big road. It was like in a street internally. So let me see if I could do a street view. Yeah. No. So again, here you come into the street. You have all these residential blocks you see over here. Go here again. Yeah. And this is where the explosion happened. Yep. This portion over here. Blown away. As you can see over here. But again, this is not the main thing that creeped me out about this case. Hold on a minute. Hold on. One thing I've noticed in the Netherlands is that often people will notice something's amiss. They will talk about it behind the scenes, and then they would act like nothing happened. And then when things escalate, things get worse. Now they're so surprised by what happened. Oh, but then someone admit, you know what? I always thought something was wrong with this guy, or I always thought something was wrong with that place over there. This neglectful attitude is a common thing in the Netherlands, and it needs to stop. Am I saying that you have to hang cameras everywhere and police everyone's every step? No. I'm saying is you need to have a watchful attitude when it comes to your community. Listen, again, this investigation is still ongoing. Okay, so we're not going to slander the owner of this shop as if she was involved with criminals and she brought harm on the locals. We know if that's true, then she's to blame, absolutely, and she should be prosecuted as well as other people that were involved in it. However, what about the public? What about the local population? And by the way, it's not just about the local public, but local population, just people in the street. Everyone who knew about this bridal shop and noticed thing was weird and they just let it go. They don't want to talk about it. They want to be left alone. This neglectful attitude is why things like this happen. Listen, no evil can unfold on the earth continuously without the public consenting to it. Again, a lot of the locals are shocked by this and traumatized. They even had a meeting for the locals to process this. So I'm not saying every local there is a reprobate who willfully harms themselves in the community. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this neglectful attitude that you have in Dutch society, it needs to stop. Look at this, y'all. Look at this. 6 people dead. It could have been more. It could have been more people. What if people spoke up directly multiple times months ago, and it was an investigation, and it was found out, okay, this shop is a bit suspicious. Okay, it needs to close now until further notice. Maybe then none of this would have happened. But again, we don't know if the shop was on the cover front or whatever. And even if the shop was not on the cover front, maybe there were people who were just jealous and envious of the owner's success. And that's why they attacked the place. It also happens. Not every attack like this has to do with criminal, has to do because the targets were involved in crime too. Sometimes people are just jealous and envious and they take it out like this with no regard to other people around. That also happens in the Netherlands. Look, this live stream will not be that long. I'm not going to talk about the conspiracy theories going on the internet right now because that goes a bit too far. Also, still under investigation. The thing is, you can't put all the blame on the authorities, like the police or the mayor over here. The people that live there and the people in the surrounding neighborhoods also have responsibility to look after one another. It's your natural human obligation to look after your fellow human being in your environment. It's not possible for you to look after all neighborhoods because there are way too many. You're not God. You don't know everything. You're not at all places. But where you are physically, where you live, you ought to at least know the ins and outs. I'm not telling you to get the phone numbers of everyone because there will be thousands of phone numbers maybe. And I'm not telling you to have one-on-one relationships with everyone because you cannot have one-on-one relationships with hundreds and thousands of people at the same time. No, that's going to happen. I'm just telling you, keep your eyes open and be sensitive what happens to your neighborhood. And if you notice something's off, report it, talk about it, collectively do something about it. And we do something about it. I'm not telling you to become paranoid and break the law by stalking people, harassing people, or slandering people, all that. I'm telling you to be alert in a healthy way. This leave me alone, out of sight, out of mind attitude. It's not just in the Netherlands. Throughout the Western world, you have this attitude, but in the Netherlands, it's quite extreme, and it needs to stop. You mean to tell me that you have a business at multiple locations, and in all these locations, there are some questionable things about the business. People mention that things are questionable, but nobody actually takes action to make sure the place is secure. So that means the public was okay with things escalating as long as they themselves were not injured. You mean to tell me that I need to feel safe with a public like this, who's okay allowing things to happen in the community as long as it doesn't happen to them directly? What? Yo, it's not just the situation, the explosion that's bad, and the 6 people that died, and the fact that there is a little boy now growing up without without a direct family near him. What's more, the thing is that the public's neglectful attitude facilitated all of this. Look, if you live in this neighborhood and you didn't even notice the shop, okay, and with these issues, that's a bit weird. You need to pay more attention. If you're in this neighborhood and you notice something and you did do what you could, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the masses out there who just want to be left alone, seeking relief all the time. Sin is not for free. Sin brings harm for both yourself and other people. Just remember that. All right, that's enough for now. How many of you ever had something, not something similar to this? How many of you ever had something like this happen in your neighborhood, that there was something or someone suspicious over there or something was questionable, but nobody did anything about it and eventually escalate? How many of you experienced something like this in your neighborhood before? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. Look, I want you to learn from this live stream. The public is responsible for what they facilitate in their neighborhoods. Either the public facilitates safety and well-being, or they facilitate harm. If the public is neglectful, they facilitate harm. Even if not everyone there committed the harm, if as a collective they facilitate harm, it's on them when things go wrong. Yes, the individual perpetrators, of course, they are to blame. Of course, you prosecute them, but you can't just look at the whole community and act like, oh, you guys are all the victim of this. If this happened out of the blue, without any warning symptoms ahead, okay, that would be different. But you cannot have a situation right in front of you that appears questionable or suspicious, and you don't look into it as a community. What the hell is that? Anyway, thank you all for being here. Keep agreeing with Christ, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Shalom.